If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
That was climate activist Greta Thunberg recording a message from a Gaza-bound aid boat, which has now been seized and detained by Israeli forces. The activists were protesting Israel's military annexation of the Gaza Strip and its restriction on the entry of the humanitarian aid.
The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed the detention, putting videos on X, writing, "All the passengers of the selfie yacht are safe and unharmed. They were provided with sandwiches and water. The show is over." Here is Israeli Navy officer communicating with what they call a selfie yacht of celebrities. Let's watch.
The maritime zone of the coast of Gaza is close to naval traffic as part of a legal naval blockade. If you wish to deliver humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, you are able to do so through the port of Ashdod via the established channels and distribution centers.
Per AP, Adala, a rights group in Israel, said that it was representing the activists, said Israel had, quote, no legal authority to take over because the ship was in international waters and because it was headed to Israel, or not to Israel, but to the territorial waters of the state of Palestine.
Piers Morgan weighed in, writing on X, "Oh, shut up, Greta Thunberg, you attention-seeking narcissist. What an insult to the actual hostages in Gaza who really were kidnapped. This stupid stunt is all about your ego and will make zero difference to the plight of innocent Palestinians caught up in this dreadful war." Piers Morgan, by the way, is someone who I now find myself agreeing with basically like 100% of the time.
100? That's a lot.
Not something that was always the case. I think what he's doing is really great. He is someone who is no shortage of criticisms of the Israeli government. He's had great debates on his show between spokespeople for Israel and Dave Smith, who's libertarian big critic of Israel, and they've been really interesting discussions, and Piers Morgan has been, I think, increasingly persuaded by the anti-Israeli government side. So this is not someone who is shy about criticizing the Israeli forces, but who is rightly pointing out that Greta Thunberg is just one of the most obnoxious people on the planet and is just all these pointless stunts. She gets herself, you can't, Israel can't detain me, I'm in international waters. They were going to Palestine, and aid has to be done through specific channels because it gets captured by Hamas. I'm sure she is unhappy with Israel, like a lot of people, that's fine, but to put yourself in this situation and be like, oh, Sweden has to come rescue me, you're not in any danger, my dear, it's fine, you can go home.
Okay,
please
well,
do.
Look, that could be debatable, right? We saw them hand out sandwiches. I watched the video too, so that's the video that we got from their side. But also, Greta Thunberg is an activist, and so sometimes activists make big scenes to call for attention to a cause, and that's important to do. There are people, and they're relevant. In your 20s, in my 20s, I surely wasn't making any big scenes that would call attention to a big issue like this.
I mean, I'm glad she didn't like smear the sandwich on a priceless piece of art or something.
She did it, right. This is actually more effective. She was actually trying to bring baby formula, medical supplies, real things that people are needing in Gaza. It wasn't a publicity stunt. There were actual supplies on the boat. So yes, they need to go through the appropriate channels, but there's also people at risk of death and famine, and that's underreported in
We are bringing them supplies,
so, I know, but
and they're actually getting those supplies instead of Hamas take them.
No, but in one area, and it's being divvied out, people are so starving that obviously people are a little bit riled up, and then they're also reportedly like shooting out shots at the crowd, right? So there's a lot of reports going on, and people are just starving and hungry and in desperation.
They are.
And we understand that, right?
This
is the most destructive since World War II. That's what the Associated Press reports.
Yeah, it's awful.
With some of the people that have been killed and the numbers that we've been seeing.
It's
so I think
awful.
that it's obviously Hamas is not blameless. There's an entire situation that we need to unpack.
I hope not.
But no, obviously. But the point is that we need to look at everybody and say, can people that are civilians just eat and get their food? And that's what activists do. Call attention to things around the world that are not fair and not going well for people that are civilians and have nothing to do with them.
Well, right, but that doesn't mean that all activist tactics are smart or wise. I think in many cases, activists tend to draw just negative attention to themselves and tend to discredit what their movement is. I think you might be underestimating
in many cases
how unpopular Greta Thunberg is with with everyone except like liberal activists. Do you really think she's like a praiseworthy?
I think that it's powerful that anybody in their 20s is taking the initiative to spend their time not partying, but also actively trying to change the world. And so even if she's very young, by calling attention. So let's say some people forgot about it. Some people followed her past on climate activism and saw that she brought national conversations to the forefront. Maybe some people forgot about what's going on, forgot that there are still hostages in Gaza, forgot that there's still an issue with Hamas, forgot that there are still people starving, Palestinians that are starving, and went on with their lives. But now they're looking at this and saying, you're right, we do need to keep paying attention to this. We do need to ask Congress to step in. We do need to be making sure that people are eating and not starving over there, right? Us as an ally to Israel should be encouraging them to make sure that people get food. Like, these are real conversations to have. And all I think an activist role is to draw attention and not let people turn the other way for too long and get encompassed with their daily lives, and know that even though Congress has a lot to do, let's also make sure that we're trying to make sure that we call an end to this and keep that on the forefront in the list for President Trump.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the aid itself. I'm glad we're administering it now in a way that can actually get to the people of Palestine. It's a horrible situation. The war needs to be brought to an end. I've advocated for it to be brought to an end. I hope there can be more diplomacy. I've applauded the Trump administration's efforts to foster diplomacy, including directly with Hamas, in order to rescue Americans who've been held captive. This needs to end. Thousands of people have already died and are starving right now. So yes, I agree with that. I just think no cause is necessarily helped by Greta Thunberg being more involved in it. And I do not like her climate activism at all. We need to, well, I think it's,
I would be proud
seconds
of
to go, I don't think we
can
get into it, but maybe she could have just partied a little harder. It would have been fine with me. That does it for us today on Rising Live. Look out for more exclusive YouTube content coming your way today. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Hill's YouTube channel so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. We will see you back here tomorrow.